Hey, Dr. John here. If your cat is over 10 years old, there is roughly a 40% chance her kidneys are already silently failing. By the age of 15, that number jumps to 80%. And here's the part that bothers me the most. By the time your cat looks visibly sick, the disease has usually been progressing for months, sometimes years. Tonight, in the next 10 minutes, I am going to show you 5 signs you can check at home before this becomes a crisis. Some of them will sound obvious once you hear them, but across the hundreds of cases I have reviewed, owners almost always tell me the same thing afterward. I knew she was drinking more water, but I thought it was just summer. Or, she lost a little weight, but she is just getting older. Smart owners catch on early. That is what this video is for. Let me explain why early matters so much in this disease. The kidneys have a cruel design when it comes to chronic kidney disease. Cats can lose up to 2/3 of their kidney function before any single sign becomes obvious. 2/3. That is not a typo. By the time your cat is drinking dramatically more water, peeing dramatically more, or losing weight you can see across the room, the disease has been quietly destroying tissue for a long time. The Merck Veterinary Manual is clear on this. Clinical signs are not evident until approximately 2/3 to 3/4 of the nephrons are lost. The Cornell Feline Health Center confirms the same picture. Cats do not show symptoms early. They cannot. Their biology hides it. This is not a video to scare you. It is the opposite. It is a video to give you the 5 subtle signs that appear before the dramatic ones. Catch any of these and you change the trajectory. Miss them, and your cat keeps quietly losing kidney function until it is too late to slow down meaningfully. Let me show you exactly what to look for. Sign number 1. She is drinking more water than she used to. This is the most common early sign, and almost every owner of a senior cat with developing kidney disease will see it. But here is what most owners miss. They do not see it as a sign. They see it as a quirk. What it actually looks like in your home. You are filling the water bowl more often than you used to. She is drinking from the bathroom faucet, the toilet bowl, your glass on the nightstand. She walks past her bowl and goes to the kitchen sink instead. She seems thirsty in a way she did not used to be. The reason this happens is mechanical. Damaged kidneys cannot concentrate urine the way healthy ones can, so the cat loses more water through urine. To compensate, she drinks more. It is the body trying to keep itself in balance with a system that is failing. What to do tonight? Measure the water. Fill her bowl with a measured amount before bed, 2 cups, about 500 milliliters. Tomorrow morning, measure what is left. A healthy adult cat drinks roughly 40 to 60 milliliters of water per kilogram of body weight per day. For a 10-pound cat, that is about 200 to 300 milliliters in 24 hours. If she is drinking more than that consistently, you have your first data point. Drop a guilty in the comments if your cat drinks from your water glass instead of her own bowl. I read every comment, and the next mailbag video pulls from what you write. Smart owners catch on early. That is the kind of owner this channel is built for. Sign number 2. The litter clumps are bigger, or there are more of them. This is the output side of sign number 1. If she is drinking more water, she is peeing more water. And if you are not paying close attention to the litter box, this one slips right past you. What it looks like. Clumps that feel heavier when you scoop. More clumps than there used to be. More frequent trips to the box throughout the day. Sometimes, accidents outside the box, especially in cats who have never had accidents before. The mechanism is the same as sign 1. The kidneys cannot concentrate urine, so more water goes out and the litter clumps reflect it. A cat with healthy kidneys produces a relatively small, dense clump. A cat with developing kidney disease produces larger, looser clumps. What to do tonight? Change the litter completely, top to bottom. Scoop in the morning, count the clumps, weigh them if you can. Do the same thing for 3 days in a row. If you have multiple cats, this gets harder, but watch for the cat going to the box more often than the others. If you have one cat, the count and the weight tell you everything you need to know. This is not glamorous detective work, but the litter box is the most reliable diagnostic surface in your house. Use it. Sign number 3. She feels lighter when you pick her up. This one breaks my heart every time, because it is the one owners blame themselves for missing. They should not. What it looks like. A spine that feels more prominent under your hand. Hip bones you can feel through the fur. A cat who used to feel solid and now feels lean or even bony. Sometimes you notice it when you are carrying her. Sometimes you notice it when she sits on your lap and her weight feels different. The mechanism is twofold. Damaged kidneys leak protein into the urine, which the cat then loses. At the same time, uremic toxins build up in the bloodstream, which suppresses appetite. The cat eats less and loses muscle. The combination is muscle wasting on a body that is still doing its best to look normal. And here's the thing I want you to hear clearly. Cats evolved to hide it. In the wild, a cat that shows weakness is a cat that gets targeted. Your domesticated cat carries the exact same instinct. By the time you can visibly see the weight loss, the disease has been progressing for months. That is not your fault. That is biology meeting the limits of human attention. The skill is learning to read the signs the cat cannot fully hide before they become unmistakable. What to do tonight? Weigh her on your bathroom scale. Step on the scale by yourself, write down the number. Pick her up, step on the scale again, subtract. You now have her weight. Do this once a week for the next month. Cats typically should not lose more than about 1% of their body weight per month without explanation. If she is dropping faster than that, you have a serious data point. Sign number 4. She is less interested in food than she used to be. This sign is sneakier than the others because owners often confuse it with normal aging, fussiness, or a fluke. Sometimes it is one of those. Often it is not. What it looks like. She walks up to the food bowl, sniffs, walks away. She used to eat with enthusiasm, and now she picks at it. She has become selective or picky in the last few months. She eats slower than she used to. There may be occasional vomiting, especially in the morning before eating. She may want the same brand and flavor she has always wanted and then refuse it without explanation. The mechanism is uremia. As the kidneys lose function, waste products build up in the bloodstream. Those waste products cause nausea, often subtle, often constant. Food becomes less appealing because the cat feels mildly nauseous most of the time. She is not being picky, she is feeling sick. What to do tonight? Offer her favorite wet food. Not kibble, not new food, not something to test her. Offer the exact food she has loved for years. If she eats it like normal, that is good information. If she eats some and walks away, that is information. If she refuses entirely a food she previously loved, that is a yellow flag, and worth calling your vet about even in the absence of other signs. If this is the kind of pet advice you want to keep getting, subscribe to the channel. 3 videos a week, every one anchored in evidence. Hit the bell so you do not miss the iris staging deep dive that follows this one, where I am going to show you exactly what the 4 stages of kidney disease mean and what to expect at each one. Sign number 5, her coat looks different. This is the most underrated of the 5 signs, because owners look at their cat every day and the change is gradual. But if you compare a photograph of your cat from 6 months ago to today, you can sometimes see it. What it looks like. A duller coat than she used to have. More dandruff, especially along the spine and the base of the tail. Unkempt patches where the fur looks slept on or matted. A cat who used to groom herself meticulously and now seems to skip parts of her body, especially her back end. Sometimes the coat feels more brittle or coarse under your hand. The mechanism is energy. Self-grooming is metabolically expensive for cats. It requires effort, balance, and time. A cat who is feeling subtly unwell, who has muscle weakness, who is mildly nauseous, who is mildly dehydrated, conserves energy. Grooming is one of the first things to slip. The coat is the visible evidence that the cat is feeling worse than she is letting on. What to do tonight? Run your hand from the top of her head all the way down the spine to the base of her tail. Slowly. Feel the coat. Feel the weight distribution. Feel for the spine bones. Feel for dandruff. You are gathering information that no vet can collect from a single 15-minute appointment because you live with her. You see her daily. You know your cat better than any vet ever will. The vet brings the science. You bring the baseline. Now let me tell you what to do based on what you found tonight. If you spotted one of these signs and you are not sure, Monitor her for 2 weeks. Write down what you saw. Take notes. Do the water bowl test, the litter box count, the weekly weigh-in. Bring the notes to your next vet visit and ask for baseline blood work. If you spotted 2 of these signs, schedule a vet appointment within the next 2 weeks. Do not wait for a routine checkup. Call your vet and tell them you noticed early signs that concern you. Ask specifically for a full senior wellness panel, including urinalysis. If you spotted 3 or more of these signs, schedule a vet appointment this week. Today, if you can. This does not mean your cat is in crisis. It means the picture you are seeing is consistent enough that it deserves real attention now, not later. And when you go to the vet, here's the specific test to ask for. SDMA. That stands for symmetric dimethylarginine. The American Animal Hospital Association recommends it as part of senior cat screening because it can detect kidney damage earlier than the traditional creatinine test. SDMA picks up changes when only about 40% of kidney function has been lost. Creatinine often does not move until 60 or 70% is gone. That gap of 20 to 30% is the window where treatment changes the trajectory most. Ask for SDMA by name. If your vet does not run it routinely, ask why. There is a good chance you can get it added to the standard senior panel for a small additional cost. Let me leave you with one synthesis before I sign off. Feline chronic kidney disease is the single most common serious disease in senior cats. It affects up to 40% of cats over 10 and 80% of cats over 15. It is silent by design. It is not your job to be a vet, but it is your job to be the person who notices. 5 signs: water, litter, weight, food, coat. Run through them tonight. Tomorrow morning, look at the water bowl. Count the litter clumps. Weigh her on the scale. Offer her favorite food. Run your hand down her spine. If everything looks normal, you have a baseline. That itself is a win. You can do this exercise every 3 months and notice changes before they become a crisis. If something feels off, you have a starting point for a conversation with your vet that is going to be very different from the average appointment, because you are bringing specific observations instead of a vague worry. Now, the question that follows this video is the one every owner asks me when their vet confirms kidney disease. How far has it progressed? What stage is it at? What does that mean for how long she has? That is a conversation about something called IRIS staging, which is the international system used to classify chronic kidney disease in cats. There are 4 stages, each with very different prognoses and very different treatment plans. I'm going to walk through every one of them in the next deep dive on this channel. Subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss it. Smart owners catch on early. That is the kind of owner this channel is built for. That's Dr. John, signing